Yeah, and anytime you get to this stage and the guy says, I want to test free agency, that's when you start worrying a little bit. Now, speaking of the other 31 teams, I think everybody's going to be circling one team in particular. Michael Schondugger from The Athletic posting just a picture in response to Adam Schefter's reporting. That, of course, is former Seahawks offensive coordinator turned Raiders head coach, and he purposely, I think, picked the picture of him with a little bit of a wry smile there because I think Kubiak's ears probably perked up when it became official that there'll be at least some chances to take a shot at Shaheed.
Yeah, we see this all the time, Matt. The offensive coordinator of one team going on to become a head coach at another team because of his success, and then looking for those players that helped him be successful in that last role. I mean, shoot, we saw it last year 2 years ago with Pete Carroll leaving the Seahawks, and then he takes the year off, and then he goes and becomes the coach of the Raiders. He went out and got Geno Smith and got Tyler Lockett, the guys that he knew and trusted already. So yeah, I could definitely see the Raiders as a landing spot for Shaheed and maybe even Ken Walker. I mean, a couple of Seahawks who are going to be hitting that free agency market, open to all the teams, but of course that already the relationship that's already there between these players and Clint Kubiak, we could definitely see them go to the Raiders. I would like to see the Seahawks put in an effort, at least try to get to Shaheed to come back as a free agent. But again, it's just a money game, and one of the reasons I'm okay with losing Shaheed is if it means there's enough money to give to Jackson Smith and Jigba. Money does not grow on trees in the NFL. There is a salary cap, but if it did grow on trees, it would be going to JSN anyways, Matt.
That's a good point. We got some practice footage from Shaheed after he arrived in that mid-season acquisition. Hey, the good news is he did his job. He did his thing. Those returns, the explosives, I think everybody was hoping for him to be that deep field threat. I think that he was getting closer and closer to becoming that. He was becoming a bigger part of the receiving core. However, where he really made his impact was that return game, and as you say, that is coming back to the league. And I do think there are a lot of people that are hoping that Torrey Horton can be a part of that moving forward. So that I always say this, Austin, when we talk about this stuff, it's the sky is falling for fans because we fall in love with these names. But by the time they're 27, as Shaheed is, oftentimes these GMs and those types in the management positions, they're already looking for the next one. Who's the 23-year-old who's going to look like Shaheed in a couple of years that I can get for a discount? And that may be what we're having happen here. A lot of this fan base fell in love with Shaheed. We obviously would love to see him, but yeah, cap circumstances don't always allow us to do what our hearts want us to do.
Yeah, balancing the books as an NFL GM is such a huge part of the job. And, you know, to the fans who think, well, we just won a Super Bowl, why wouldn't we want to bring back those guys that helped us win a Super Bowl? Here's the thing, Matt. The reason we won a Super Bowl was because of their contracts, and those are changing. So you have to adapt and improvise based on how much money any specific player is set to make in a given year. You have to constantly change what your team looks like because of those contracts. And so we had those guys on the younger rookie deals. They were cheaper. Now they're getting older. Now they're owed a lot more money. You can't give all that money to everybody. So definitely a big part of John Schneider's job moving forward is, you know, not only being able to bring back some veterans, you know, he'll have to find a way to do that somehow, but also, like you say, being able to bring in those guys, draft them, trade for them, the guys who are on those cheaper deals, and that's how you really continue to build a Super Bowl roster year in and year out. And one last thing before we get off the Rashid Shaheed news, Matt, a direct quote from him that I wanted to bring up from November. It was, quote, "I'm here to stay, man. We can figure something out after the season ends." Obviously, a little bit of a tone shift with Adam Schefter's tweet today.
I do